Welcome to another night of shadows and dreams at Highway number 41, in a quiet desert of Ohio. At least, that's what it feels like. I know, Ohio ain't got no deserts. I've driven through enough of it to know the landscape by heart. It's all rolling green hills, sleepy little towns with white church steeples, and endless fields of corn that whisper secrets to each other when the wind blows just right. But tonight it feels different. Tonight, the trees are skeletal and black. The fields are barren voids, and the highway stretches out before me like a strip of dried, cracked leather. A desert of asphalt and silence. My name is Ray, and for the last 27 years, this has been my life. The inside of this cab, the drone of the Cummins diesel, the faint smell of stale coffee and worn vinyl. It's my world, a rolling steel box that carries me and 50,000 pounds of assorted goods from one flickering island of civilization to the next. Tonight it's paper towels, pallets and pallets of them, destined for a distribution center in Illinois. You wouldn't think paper towels could feel heavy, but after 14 hours on the road, everything feels heavy. My eyelids feel like lead weights. The coffee in my thermos has gone cold and bitter, but I drink it anyway. Anything to fight the Sandman. He's a cruel master on these long, empty stretches of road. The world outside my windows is a watercolor painting of grays and blacks, smudged by the rhythmic swipe of the wipers clearing a faint, persistent mist. The only color comes from my own dashboard. The warm green glow of the gauges, the amber light of the radio display, the little red dot on the GPS telling me I'm still, theoretically, on the right path. I haven't seen another pair of headlights in over an hour. Not a truck, not a car, not even a state trooper looking to fill his quota. It's just me and the big dog. That's what I call my rig. Me and the big dog, pushing through the dark. It's nights like these that you start to feel it. The loneliness. It's a physical presence, sitting there in the passenger seat where my wife, Sarah, used to put her feet up on the dash. I can almost see the indentation her head made on the worn leather. After all those years she rode with me, before the kids got old enough that she had to stay home. The silence gets so loud you can hear your own blood pumping in your ears. You start to think, and on the road, late at night, thinking is a dangerous pastime. You think about the bills, the mortgage, the time you've missed, birthdays, anniversaries, school plays, all sacrificed to the god of the open road, all for a paycheck that never seems to quite stretch far enough. The CB crackles, a burst of static, like a ghost clearing its throat. I reach over and turn the squelch knob. Anybody got their ears on? Eastbound on the 41? I ask, my voice gravelly from disuse. More static. Just the hiss of empty space. That's unusual. Normally, even at this hour, there's some chatter. A fellow night owl looking for company. Someone complaining about the price of fuel. A warning about a speed trap up ahead. But tonight, it's dead. The entire frequency is a ghost town. I try another channel, then another. Nothing. Just the endless, empty shushing sound. It makes the cab feel smaller, tighter. The comforting web of voices that usually connects us lonely souls out here has been cut, and I'm drifting alone. I take another swig of cold coffee and try to shake off the feeling. It's just a quiet night, a Tuesday. Everyone's probably already parked up for the night, sleeping in some brightly lit truck stop, dreaming of home. I should probably do the same. There's a stop about 30 miles ahead, according to the map. Rudy's Roadhouse. Decent food, clean showers. I can make it there. Just 30 more miles. The mist is getting thicker, clinging to the road and swallowing the beams of my headlights. It's like driving through milk. The trees that line the highway are warped and distorted by the fog, their branches reaching out like bony fingers. My eyes are starting to play tricks on me. I see shapes in the swirling gray, phantoms dancing just at the edge of my vision. A deer, maybe. A trick of the light. It's the fatigue, I tell myself. The enemy of every long-haul driver. It whispers to you, shows you things that aren't there, tries to lull you into that final, fatal sleep. I slap my own cheek, hard. The sting is sharp and real. Wake up, Ray, I mutter. Almost there. I turn up the radio, but the local station is fading in and out, lost in a sea of static. A snatch of an old country song about lost love, then just the hum. It's more unnerving than the silence. I switch it off. The drone of the engine is the only sound again, steady, reliable. That's when I see it. For a split second, caught in the sweeping arc of my headlights as I round a gentle curve. It's standing just off the shoulder, at the very edge of the woods. My first thought is a person, a hitchhiker, out here in the middle of nowhere in this fog. But it's too tall and too thin. Impossibly, unnaturally thin, like a stick figure drawn by a child. It's perfectly still, one long arm pointing, not at me, but down the road. The way I'm heading, I'm past it in a heartbeat, the image burned onto my retinas. A long dark coat. Or maybe that was just its body, it was hard to tell. No face that I could see, just a silhouette, a stark black cutout against the swirling gray mist. My foot instinctively eases off the accelerator. My heart is hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. What the hell was that? A scarecrow? Some weird piece of folk art some farmer put up to spook people? It has to be. That's the only logical explanation. But it didn't look like a scarecrow. It looked watchful. And that gesture, that long, slow point. It wasn't a warning. It felt like an invitation, or a command. I pressed down on the accelerator again, trying to put distance between me and whatever that thing was. My hands are gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles are white. I keep glancing in my side mirrors, but the fog is too thick. The road behind me is a blank gray wall. It's gone, whatever it was. Just a trick of the light and a tired mind. That's all. It has to be. I take a few deep, shaky breaths, the cold air burning my lungs. The adrenaline has chased away the fatigue, replacing it with a low-thrumming anxiety. The cab, my safe little world, suddenly feels fragile, vulnerable. A thin shell of glass and steel against the vast, empty dark. I need to get to Rudy's.
I need to be around people under bright fluorescent lights, with the smell of frying bacon and the clatter of plates. I need to be somewhere real, somewhere solid, to wash this feeling away. I check the GPS. The little red dot is still crawling along the line of the highway. 22 miles to the exit. The numbers seem to be ticking down, slower than they should. Each mile feels like 10. The road has become hypnotic. The white lines strobing past, the endless grey fog, the drone of the engine. It's a sensory deprivation tank on wheels. The feeling of being watched returns, stronger this time. I can't shake it. It's a prickle on the back of my neck, a cold spot in the air. I feel like there are eyes on me. Not from behind, but from the woods that rush past my window. I feel like every tree is a silent observer. And the thing I saw back there was just their shepherd.
My dashboard lights flicker, all of them for just a second. The engine sputters, a cough in the steady rhythm of its purr. My stomach clenches. Oh no, don't you do this to me, big dog. Not now. The engine catches again, the lights steady, but the moment of vulnerability has shaken me. This truck is my livelihood, my home, my armor. If it fails me out here, I don't even want to think about it. I glance at the GPS again. The screen is frozen. The little red dot is blinking in the middle of a vast, empty green space. No road, no towns, nothing. According to this thing, I'm off-roading in the middle of a national forest. I tap the screen. Nothing. I turn it off and on again. The screen lights up, searches for a signal, and then presents me with the same blank map. Piece of junk, I grumble, but there's no heat in it. A cold knot of dread is tightening in my gut. First the silent CB, then the figure, now the GPS. It feels like the world is slowly being unplugged around me, disconnected. I'm flying blind. The fog thickens even more, if that's possible. I'm forced to slow the truck to a crawl, my eyes straining to see more than 10 feet in front of the grill. The world is gone. There is only the truck and the immediate patch of road, illuminated by my lights. It feels like I've driven off the edge of the map and into some forgotten, unfinished corner of the world. Then, a light appears in the mist ahead, a soft, flickering yellow light. It's a sign. I can't make out the words yet, but the shape is familiar. A rest stop. Thank God. I wasn't expecting one. It's not on my usual route map, but any port in a storm. I can pull over, take a walk, splash some water on my face, and try to get my bearings. Maybe there's a payphone, a real physical connection to the world I seem to have lost. As I get closer, the sign becomes clearer. The paint is peeling, and half the letters are dark, but I can make out the words. Oak Haven Rest Area. Welcome, Oak Haven. I've been driving this state for nearly 3 decades, and I've never heard of a rest stop
called Oak Haven. Still, my relief is so profound it almost makes me dizzy. I flick on my turn signal, the rhythmic clicking, a small, comforting sound in the oppressive silence, and guide the big dog down the off-ramp. The parking lot is huge, designed for trucks, but it's completely empty. Not a single other vehicle in sight. The asphalt is cracked and riddled with weeds. The building itself is a low brick structure with large windows that are dark and empty. The only light comes from a single, buzzing lamppost in the center of the lot, casting a sickly yellow glow that makes the fog look like poison gas. The air is still, not a breath of wind. When I cut the engine, the silence that descends is absolute and terrifying. It's a deep, profound silence that you don't get in nature. No crickets, no rustling leaves, no distant hum of traffic. It's the silence of a vacuum, the silence of a tomb. I sit there for a long moment, my hand on the door handle, a sudden, powerful reluctance to leave the cab washing over me. This place feels wrong. It feels old and sad and forgotten. But the need to stretch my legs, to stand on solid ground, wins out. I take a deep breath, push the door open, and step out. The cold hits me first. It's a damp, biting cold that seeps right through my denim jacket and into my bones. And the smell. It's the smell of decay. Wet leaves, rotting wood, and something else. Something metallic and vaguely sweet, like old blood. I slam the truck door shut, the sound unnaturally loud in the silence. It doesn't echo. It just stops. The sound is swallowed by the thick, heavy air. I look around the lot. The painted lines for the parking spaces are so faded they're almost invisible. A lone, rusted trash can stands near the walkway, overflowing with debris that looks like it's been there for years. The main building has a desolate, abandoned look. The glass in the doors is caked with grime, and a large piece of plywood is nailed over one of the windows. Yet, the welcome sign is still lit. It flickers and hums, a single, stubborn spark of life in a place that feels utterly dead. My plan was to use the restroom and maybe find a phone, but the thought of going inside that dark, silent building makes my skin crawl. Instead, I walk around the truck, kicking the tires, doing the routine checks I've done 1,000 times before. It's a familiar ritual, a small piece of normalcy in a place that feels anything but. The tires are good, the connections are solid. The big dog is fine. It was just a momentary hiccup. I walk over to the edge of the parking lot, near the tree line. The forest here is dense and dark, a solid wall of black. The fog swirls around the base of the trees, making it look like the woods are floating on a grey sea. The oppressive silence is broken by a sound. A snap, like a dry twig breaking under a heavy foot. It comes from deep within the woods. I freeze, every muscle in my body tensed. I strain my ears, listening. Silence again. Probably just an animal. A deer, a raccoon, nothing to be afraid of. But it didn't sound like a deer. It sounded deliberate, heavier. I back away from the tree line, my eyes scanning the darkness between the trees. I can't see anything, but the feeling of being watched is back, 1,000 times stronger than before. It's like I've stepped onto a stage, and the forest is the audience. I quickly walk back to the perceived safety of the lamplight in the middle of the lot. My heart is beating a frantic rhythm against my ribs. This was a mistake. I should have kept driving. I should have trusted my gut.
I decide to forget the restroom. I'll just get back in the truck and get the hell out of here. This place is giving me the creeps. I pull myself up into the cab, the familiar squeak of the seat a welcome sound. I close the door, lock it, and for a moment, I feel safe again, back in my steel shell. I put the key in the ignition and turn. Whew. Click. Nothing. Not a groan, not a sputter. Just a single, dead click. I try again. Click. And again. Click. A cold, hard dread crystallizes in my stomach. I pump the clutch, jiggle the gear shift into neutral, and try one more time. Click. The battery is dead. But how? It was fine. The lights were on. The engine was running perfectly just 5 minutes ago. It makes no sense. I pop the hood and grab my flashlight from the glove compartment. The beam cuts a sharp white cone through the yellow gloom. I climb back out, the smell of decay hitting me again. I walk to the front of the truck and unlatch the hood. The heavy metal groans in protest as I lift it. I shine the light on the batteries. The terminals are clean, the connections tight. There's no reason for them to be dead. It's impossible. I stand there for a moment, the flashlight beam trembling in my hand, the full weight of my situation crashing down on me. I am stranded, in a deserted, forgotten rest stop, in the middle of a foggy night, in the middle of nowhere, with a dead truck and no way to call for help. The CB is dead. My phone has had no signal for the last hour, and the GPS thinks I'm in a different dimension. Panic, cold and sharp, begins to prickle at the edges of my mind. I fight it down. Panicking won't help. I need to think. There has to be a rational explanation for all of this. There has to be. I slam the hood shut. The sound echoing that same dead finality as the truck door. I sweep the flashlight beam around the parking lot. A desperate, searching gesture. The light catches something on the grimy brick wall of the main building near the entrance. A symbol scratched into the brick. It's a circle with a vertical line through it. It looks familiar, but I can't place it. It looks like something you'd see in a history book, an ancient rune, or a pagan sigil. Below it, more scratches, words maybe. Too faint to read from here. Curiosity, or maybe just a desperate need for a distraction, pulls me towards the building. I walk slowly, my boots crunching on loose gravel, sweeping the flashlight beam ahead of me. The closer I get to the building, the stronger the smell of rot becomes. I reach the wall and shine the light directly on the symbol. It's been carved deep into the brick with a sharp object. It's old. The edges are worn and filled with grime. I run my fingers over it. The brick is cold, almost icy to the touch. I move the light down to the words scratched underneath. They're messy, frantic. It looks like they were carved in a hurry. Don't let it see you, I read aloud. My voice a ragged whisper. It wears their faces. My blood runs cold. What does that mean? What is it? Whose faces? I feel a sudden, urgent need to get away from this wall, away from these words. I back away, sweeping the light across the front of the building. The plywood over the window has words scrawled on it too, in what looks like black spray paint. Turn back, it says in big, dripping letters. A warning. A warning I didn't see when I pulled in. A sound from inside the building makes me jump. A soft, shuffling sound, like something being dragged across a dirty floor. I freeze, aiming the flashlight at the grimy glass doors. Is there someone in there? A vagrant, maybe? Hello? I call out, my voice shaking slightly. Is anybody in there? The shuffling stops. Silence. Then a new sound, a soft, rhythmic tapping. Tap, tap, tap. It's coming from the glass of the door. I take a hesitant step closer, my light fixed on the door. I can't see anything through the filth-covered glass. The tapping continues, slow and deliberate. It's the sound of a single finger tapping on the pane. Tap, tap, tap. It's beckoning me, inviting me in. I should run. I should get as far away from this place as I can, but I'm paralyzed, rooted to the spot by a mixture of terror and a morbid, inexplicable curiosity. The tapping stops. The shuffling sound returns, louder this time, closer to the door. I see a shadow move behind the grimy glass. A tall, thin shadow. My heart leaps into my throat. It's the same shape I saw on the side of the highway. The stick figure. I finally break free from my paralysis. I turn and sprint back to my truck, my feet slipping on the wet asphalt. I don't look back. I wrench the door open, haul myself into the cab and slam the door, fumbling with the lock. I'm breathing in ragged, painful gasps, my chest tight with terror. I press myself against the driver's side door, trying to get as far away from the passenger side as possible, my eyes glued to the rest stop building. I can't see anything moving now. The shadow is gone. But I know it's there. I know it saw me. Don't let it see you. The words from the wall echo in my mind. Too late for that. I sit there, trembling for what feels like an eternity. The only sound is my own ragged breathing and the frantic pounding of my own heart. The sickly yellow light from the lamppost outside paints the interior of the cab in grotesque shadows. Every familiar shape, the gear shift, the dashboard, the steering wheel, looks alien and menacing. The silence outside returns, thick and suffocating. Did I imagine it? Was it just another trick of a tired mind, fueled by the creepy atmosphere of this place? My gaze falls on the glove compartment. I don't know why, but I feel a sudden, inexplicable urge to open it. My hand moves as if with a will of its own. I flip the latch and the small door falls open. Inside is the usual collection of junk. Registration papers, old receipts, a half-eaten roll of antacids, and a book. A small black leather-bound logbook. It's not mine. I bought this rig used a few years ago. It must have belonged to the previous driver. I've never bothered to look at it before. Now, I pull it out. The leather is worn smooth with age. I open it. The first few pages are filled with neat, methodical entries. Dates, mileage, fuel stops, cargo details. The mundane chronicle of a trucker's life. The entries span years. The driver's name was Frank Miller. I flip through the pages, watching Frank's life on the road unfold. He drove the same routes I do. Ohio, Illinois, Pennsylvania. He complained about the same dispatchers, praised the same greasy spoon diners. I feel a strange sense of kinship with this man I've never met. I get to the last few pages. The handwriting changes. The neat, careful script becomes a frantic, messy scrawl. The ink is smudged in places, as if the writer's hand was shaking. The last entry is dated October 31st, 5 years ago. Halloween. Something's wrong with the road tonight. It begins. The radio's gone quiet. GPS is on the fritz. Driving blind in the fog. Feels like I'm the only man left on Earth. My breath catches in my throat. This is happening to me, right now. I continue reading, my eyes flying across the page. Saw something on the shoulder. A man, tall, pointing. I should have kept going, but the engine sputtered, had to pull over. An old rest stop, Oak Haven. It's not on any map I've ever seen. The place feels dead. The next sentences are almost illegible. Truck won't start. I'm trapped. There's something in the woods. I can hear it. It's watching me. It's coming for the truck. Oh God, it's at the door. I look up from the book, my blood roaring in my ears. The parallels are too exact. This isn't a coincidence. This is a pattern, a trap, and I've driven right into it. The final entry in the logbook is just a few words, scrolled across the bottom of the page, the pen having dug so deep it almost tore through the paper. The words I saw scratched into the brick wall. It wears their faces. A sudden loud bang on the passenger side door makes me scream. It's a raw, high-pitched sound of pure terror that I didn't know I was capable of making. I scramble across the seat, pressing myself against my door, my eyes wide with horror. Another bang, louder this time. The whole truck shakes with the impact. It's out there. The thing from the woods. The thing that got Frank Miller. It's here for me. I can see a shape through the passenger window. A tall, dark silhouette against the yellow light. It's just standing there, inches from the glass. I can't see a face, just a vague, human-like form. But it's the stillness that's so terrifying. The patient, predatory stillness. Then it raises a hand. The fingers are too long, like the branches of a dead tree. It taps on the glass. Tap, tap, tap. Hoo-hoo. The same sound I heard from inside the building. It knows I'm in here. It's toying with me. My mind is racing. A chaotic whirlwind of fear and disbelief. This can't be happening. This is the kind of story you hear told over a crackling CB radio late at night. A ghost story to scare the rookies. It's not real. But the sound of that tapping, the solid impact against the side of my truck, that is real. I need a weapon. Something. Anything. My eyes dart around the cab. A heavy-duty flashlight. A tire iron under the seat. A flare gun in the emergency kit. My hand goes to the kit, but then I freeze. The victims of this road. The victims of this thing. Then, the final face appears, and the world falls out from under me. It's the face of my wife, Sarah. Her beautiful, familiar face. The face I see in my dreams and carry in a worn photograph taped to my dashboard. But it's wrong. Her eyes are filled with tears. Her mouth is twisted in a silent scream of agony. Her expression is one of utter terror and betrayal. It's looking at me, her face contorted in a plea. "Ray," it mouths. Her voice a faint, ethereal whisper that seems to come from inside my own head. "Help me, Ray. Let me in." This is its true weapon. Not strength, not claws, not teeth. It uses love. It uses memory. It twists the things you hold most dear into a weapon to break you. It wants me to open the door. It feeds on hope, and then on despair. A wave of pure, white-hot rage surges through me, momentarily burning away the fear. This thing, this monster, is using my wife's face. It is defiling her memory. "You're not her!" I scream, my voice cracking. "Get away from me!" The face of my wife smiles. A slow, cruel, terrible smile. It's the most obscene thing I have ever seen. And then it's gone. The face melts away, leaving only a dark, shifting void. The creature rears back and slams its entire body against the passenger side of the truck. The sound is like a car crash. The whole cab lurches and the passenger window spiders with a web of cracks. It hits the truck again, and again, a relentless, brutal assault. Metal groans and shrieks in protest. The window cracks further, a piece of safety glass falling onto the passenger seat. It's going to get in. It's going to break its way in, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. I'm going to die here, just like Frank Miller, just like all the others. My name will become just another forgotten entry in a ghost story. Number. I will not let that happen. The rage returns, cold and sharp this time. It gives me clarity. I'm not going to die cowering in this cab. If I'm going to go down, I'm going down fighting. The emergency kit, the flare gun. I scramble for it, my fingers fumbling with the latches. I pull out the stubby orange pistol and a single red flare cartridge. My hands are shaking so badly, I can barely load it. The creature outside is roaring now, a sound that is not human or animal. It's the sound of grinding rock and snapping wood, of pure, ancient malice. The passenger window shatters, exploding inward in a shower of glass pebbles. A long, black, stick-like arm reaches in, groping blindly. It brushes against the dashboard,
its touch leaving a smear of some thick, dark ichor that smokes and sizzles on the vinyl. I finally managed to slam the cartridge into the flare gun. I cock it. The sound is loud and final in the small space. The arm retracts from the broken window. I know I have only one shot at this. I can't shoot it from in here. The flare would fill the cab with toxic smoke, probably set the whole thing on fire. I have to get out. I have to face it. The thought is terrifying, but it's the only chance I have. I take a deep breath. I unlock my door, holding the flare gun tight in my right hand. I wait for the creature to slam into the other side of the truck again. As soon as I hear the impact and feel the truck lurch, I throw my door open and half fall, half jump to the ground. I land hard on the asphalt, the shock of it rattling my teeth. I scramble to my feet, spinning around, raising the gun. The creature is there. It's standing by the passenger side of my truck, momentarily confused by my sudden appearance. It's worse than I could have ever imagined. It's not just thin. It's a grotesque tangle of what looks like limbs, branches, and strips of tattered clothing, all bound together in a vaguely humanoid shape. It has no discernible head, just a roiling mass of shadow where a face should be. The faces I saw appearing and disappearing within the darkness, like oil on water. It is tall, easily 9 feet, and it radiates a palpable aura of cold and decay. It turns its head towards me.
The face of Frank Miller solidifies in the darkness. "Help me," it rasps, his voice a dry, dead whisper. "Go to hell," I snarling, and I pull the trigger. The flare gun bucks in my hand with a loud crack. A ball of brilliant, burning red magnesium erupts from the barrel and streaks across the parking lot, hitting the creature square in the chest. For a split second, there is silence. Then, the thing shrieks. It's a sound that tears at the very fabric of the night. A high-pitched, unholy scream of pain and rage. The flare doesn't bounce off. It sticks, embedded in its body. The brilliant red light illuminates it from within, revealing its impossible anatomy. It's not made of flesh and blood. It's made of dead wood, rotting leaves, grave dirt, and human misery, all held together by some dark, malevolent will. The light is poison to it. It flails its long limbs wildly, trying to dislodge the burning flare. The light causes its form to smoke and disintegrate, pieces of it flaking off like burning paper and turning to dust before they hit the ground. It stumbles backward, away from me, away from the light, its terrifying scream echoing through the dead, silent night. It's blinded, confused, wounded. This is my chance. I don't wait to see what happens next. I turn and run for the cab, adrenaline coursing through my veins. I leap into the driver's seat, ignoring the broken glass on the floor. I slam the door shut, and on pure, desperate instinct, I turn the key in the ignition. The engine turns over. It sputters, catches, and then roars to life. The sound more beautiful to me in that moment than any symphony. The lights flash on, their bright white beams cutting through the gloom, pinning the still stumbling, shrieking creature in their glare. I don't hesitate. I slam the big dog into gear, my foot stomping the accelerator to the floor. The tires scream in protest, spinning on the slick asphalt for a moment before they find purchase. The truck lurches forward. I aim it directly at the exit ramp, right through the flimsy wooden barrier that blocks it. I'm not looking in my mirrors. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know if it's still standing, if it's recovering, if it's coming after me. I just drive. The truck smashes through the barrier with a splintering crash. I'm back on the highway, the dark, empty road that led me into this nightmare. I push the engine, going faster than I have any right to, the trailer fishtailing behind me. The fog is still thick, but I don't care. I drive like a man possessed, because that's what I am. Possessed by the memory of what I just saw, and the desperate, primal need to escape it.
I drive for an hour, maybe 2. I don't know. Time has lost all meaning. All I know is the forward motion of the truck, the roar of the engine, the feeling of the road passing beneath me. The fog begins to thin. The sky in my rearview mirror begins to lighten, from black to a deep indigo, then to a soft, bruised purple. The sun is coming up. With the dawn comes the return of the world. I see another pair of headlights in the distance coming towards me. A fellow trucker. He flashes his lights, a simple greeting, and I almost break down in tears. I'm not alone anymore. The CB radio crackles to life, a cheerful voice talking about the price of coffee at the next truck stop. My GPS beeps and the screen flickers back to life, showing my little red dot perfectly positioned on Highway 41, just where it should be. The Oak Haven rest area is not on the map. It's as if it never existed, as if it was nothing more than a bad dream. But I know it was real. The shattered passenger window, the deep gouges in the truck's paint, the smell of burnt ichor that still hangs in the air, and the single white streak that has appeared in my dark hair at my temple. I know it was real. I finally pull into Rudy's Roadhouse. The parking lot is full of trucks. The windows of the diner are bright and steamy and welcoming. The noise is a beautiful cacophony. The hiss of air brakes, the chatter of voices, the clatter of silverware. It's the sound of life. I stumble out of my cab and onto the solid, real asphalt. I'm shaking uncontrollably. A man walking past gives me a strange look. "You all right there, driver?" he asks. I just nod, unable to speak. I walk into the diner and sit down in a booth, the red vinyl squeaking under my weight. A waitress comes over, a cheerful woman with a tired smile. She asks me what I'll have. I just look at her solid, real, human face, and I start to cry. I sit there in that booth at Rudy's Roadhouse and I weep like a child. For Frank Miller, for the girl on the poster, for the boy on the news, and for the part of me that I left back at that dark, forgotten place on the edge of the world. I sold the rig a week later. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't face the long, lonely nights on the road, the deep, dark woods crowding the edges of the highway. I tried to tell my story once to another driver. He just laughed and told me I'd been hitting the coffee pot a little too hard. No one would believe me. How could they?
It sounds like madness. Sometimes I think maybe it was. Maybe I just fell asleep at the wheel for a few minutes and had the most vivid, terrifying nightmare of my life. But then I touch the white streak in my hair, where I'll catch a glimpse of a tall, thin shadow in my peripheral vision, and I know what's waiting out there in the quiet places, in the stretches of road that time forgot, hidden behind a curtain of fog.
There are things in the darkness that are older than the roads, and they are hungry. They wait patiently for the tired, the lonely, the lost. They offer you a place to rest, and they promise you a glimpse of home. And sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet and the road outside is empty, I can still hear the static on a dead channel, whispering my name.